Hey everyone, welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm Adrian, and oh boy do we have a wild one today. Buckle up. The British press has outdone itself again. Just when you think they've run out of ways to blame Prince Harry and Meghan Markle for everything short of the fall of the Roman Empire, they produce a documentary that essentially boils down to, poor William, look what Harry did to him. That's right. We're talking about Channel 5's brand new investigation. Megxit. Inside the Sandringham Summit, let me tell you, Jesus take the wheel, because this thing is one royal gaslight from start to finish. First off, let's address the core issue with this doc, revisionist history. Instead of looking at the very real issues, security, racism, press abuse, institutional failure, Channel 5 gives us another sob story about how Prince William lost his brother to Meghan's spell. I mean, come on. We've seen more thoughtful storytelling in Disney villain origin stories. This documentary doesn't ask the tough questions, like, why was Meghan banned from joining the Sandringham Summit remotely? Why did the palace leak private Sussex decisions to the press before the couple could even speak for themselves? And why was Harry stripped of security after stepping back a decision that put his wife and child at real risk? Oh, wait. That would make the institution look bad, and we can't have that now, can we? Here's what we know. The Sandringham Summit took place in January 2020. Meghan was already back in Canada with Archie. Harry alone was summoned to negotiate the terms of his family's future. Meghan requested to attend via Zoom, denied. Why? Because they didn't want her input. They didn't want her voice in the room. And they especially didn't want her challenging decisions with facts or, heaven forbid, logic. The whole setup was designed to isolate Harry, force his hand, get him back in line. But here's the thing about Harry. He's his mother's son. He knows how the system works, and for once he wasn't going to let it control the narrative. What Harry and Meghan proposed wasn't radical. It was forward-thinking. They suggested working part-time on behalf of the Crown, while earning their own money and living part-time abroad. In the real world, we call that flexibility. In royal land, heresy. The palace said no, hard no. Because the Sussexes were too charismatic, too popular, and too willing to talk about things that made the institution uncomfortable, like racism, mental health, and colonial legacies. The monarchy didn't want modernity. They wanted obedience, and Harry and Meghan had other plans. One of the funniest, and by funny, I mean completely unhinged parts of the documentary is the obsession with Prince William's grief over losing his brother. They spin this whole emotional saga about how Harry's decision was like a death to William, a melodrama where Harry is the villain and poor William just couldn't handle the betrayal. Now, let's be real. You know what grief looks like? Grabbing your brother by the collar and screaming at him, apparently. That's what multiple sources reported happened at Sandringham. William lost his temper so badly that even Queen Elizabeth was rattled. But instead of accountability, we get another rinse cycle of, Harry left, so he must be the problem. Meghan was never the problem. She was the spotlight. Her intelligence, empathy, and confidence were seen as threats, not assets. She didn't know her place because she believed her place was beside her husband, not behind him. She dared to ask for help when she was struggling mentally. She dared to speak openly. And when she was denied support, she and Harry made the radical choice to save their family, even if it meant leaving the firm. And that decision, that's what the press and palace still can't forgive. The British press claims to hate Meghan and Harry, but you know what they really hate? Irrelevance, because as much as they claim the Sussexes are nobodies in California, they can't go 3 weeks without plastering them on front pages. And documentaries like this one? They're desperate cash grabs, hoping to tap into public curiosity and stir up outrage. But they never dig deep. They never talk about why Meghan faced such disproportionate criticism, or how the palace never protected her the way they protected others. Here's a short list of things Channel 5 and Co. consistently refuse to cover. Why Prince Andrew was given more institutional protection than Meghan. Why Harry's security was removed despite credible threats. Why Meghan's mental health concerns were dismissed as drama. Why the palace refused to counter racist press attacks. These are questions worth exploring. But the media would rather paint Meghan as manipulative, Harry as a love-struck fool, and the monarchy as blameless. Let's rewind. What did Harry and Meghan actually want? To raise their family with dignity, to contribute to causes they care about, to maintain ties with the monarchy while also building their own life. That's it. That was the ask, and for that they were painted as traitors, liars, and fame-hungry hypocrites. But when William and Kate travel the world with full security and photo ops, that's royal duty. Since leaving, Harry and Meghan have built Archewell, launched award-winning media projects, and continued humanitarian work. They've been honest about their journey, vulnerable, transparent, and yet they're still held to a standard no other royals are. Why? Because they walked away and didn't look back. Because they broke generational cycles of silence. And because they showed the world that royalty doesn't mean subservience. So here's the truth. The Sandringham Summit was never about compromise. It was about containment. The goal was to bring Harry back under control, to cut Meghan out of the process, to make it clear you either play by our rules or you get out. And Harry, brave, principled Harry, chose freedom over control. He chose his wife, his son, and his sanity. And for that, the institution will never forgive him. Thank you for watching Meghan and Harry Tales. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who's still blaming the Sussexes for being too fabulous to fail. This is Adrian reminding you that sometimes telling the truth means breaking tradition. And that's okay. Until next time, stay informed, stay bold, and stay on the side of truth.